Checking 1, 2. Everybody can hear me. All right, let's do this. Check 1, 2. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get this sucker fired up. Oh, hold on. I have to stop 1 second here. I got to redo this real quick. I'll have it in just a second. Okay, hold on. I have to do that again because it didn't record correctly, of course. All right, here we go. Let's hit record. Let's do stop. Wait, okay, we want to stop. All right. Here we go. We're going to try this again. Well, all right, everybody. Welcome to Boom's Drive to Work, the all-new Boom's Drive to Work. This, over the last couple days, what I did is I had a big landmark birthday. I'm not going to tell you which one it was, but it was 50. And when I did that, one of the things I wanted to do was get a whole podcasting rig. I've been podcasting forever on junk. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get out of that realm, get some real podcasting gear. That's what I did. So you're hearing this on the all-new SM7B. I've got a nice DLZ creator over here from Mackie. I got all kinds of gear now, and it's awesome. And as I learn how to use it and do all that stuff, it's going to be super cool, super cool. But I'm excited to have you on the show today. We got a wonderful set of topics that we're going to cover. I've got a really good... I think it's going to be actually fantastic. I'm going to talk about Division 2. I wanted to cover some of the stuff in Nintendo Direct. And then I wanted to talk about a couple upcoming game releases that I'm excited about between now and kind of the next time I'm on a podcast. And on that note, by the way, the next time you hear a podcast, it's going to be super cool because my old podcasting buddy, Tess, is going to be on the show. And I'm going to have her come on this time, and the goal is to have her on all the time. So if it all works out, maybe this will be Tess and Boom's Drive to Work. We'll figure it all out as we kind of go along. She was my partner on every kind of amazing podcast, and she's also just like the best friend in the world. So that is something we've got to look forward to. So I'm super duper duper excited about that. But first things first. I wanted to cover a game that I've been playing a lot of. As you know, I got the Ubisoft Plus subscription, so $17.99 a month, I think. And what you get with that is basically Ubisoft's collection. Now, the reason that I pulled the trigger on this was we've got the new Star Wars game, we got the new Assassin's Creed game coming out, and there was enough value in some of the upcoming releases that I was like, you know what? I'll just rent them, play them day one, have some fun with it. But then also I could play some games that I've been wanting to play, like Sea of Thieves, the Division 2, maybe replay some things. And I have probably 1,000 hours in the Division 2. This is one of my all-time favorite games. But it was all on Xbox. And unfortunately, in this day and age of 2024, if you have your games on Xbox, you can't just move to PC and play them, which is kind of disappointing. But that's kind of what's going on. And I got a little kind of frustrated, I guess, with that. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to basically get this, put it on PC, have it on both, and it's going to be awesome. And that's where I'm at. So I downloaded this onto my personal computer, and then I was also trying to figure out if I could put it on my Steam Deck. Turns out you cannot. You cannot put it on your Steam Deck, which kind of stinks. So that was kind of ugly. But at the end of the day, everything's working out. So I have started a brand new character. It's not cross progression, so of course I didn't get all my other fully maxed characters, which is not going to matter in a minute when I tell you what's kind of going on. But I took my characters over from, or I didn't take my characters over, so I just started completely fresh. I made a guy, and we made it all the way through Washington, D.C. We're now in New York. We're going to finish that content up, and we're going to kind of roll through stuff. And I've been live streaming that on Twitch. So if you want to see that, it's on twitch.tv/boomtaprocks. So you can go there and catch me on that. And you can watch me do it. It's also on YouTube. I don't even know what's under YouTube. Boomtap Rocks, I think, as well. I'm not sure. It's one of those things. Anyway, you can catch me on all of that kind of stuff. So I did this. I got this brand new season kind of going for me. And Division 2 came out with an announcement that said they're going to do something called seasons. And I was like, all right, I got to learn about what these seasons are about. So on the screen, by the way, this is a video podcast for the first time too, which is pretty cool. But if you check it out on the screen, you'll see what I'm saying, but I'll try to describe it. Anyway, they came out with a Seasons 2 FAQ for Division 2. Now, the Division has always done like these little seasonal updates where you have like a new character you have to go track down and kill, and there's usually a weapon tied to it or something. It's kind of fun, very short, usually nothing too crazy, but it's kind of how it's done. Well, what they're doing basically is they're doing this new seasonal update, and I don't even know. I don't know when it says it's coming. I don't know if we've got the date yet. Somebody can probably correct me if we do have the date. But anyway, the idea is this. They're going to break away from the seasons that they've done. And what they're going to do is, this is going to make some people mad, but I'm going to say it anyway. They're going to make it kind of like Diablo, or at least Diablo 3. And if anybody has ever played Diablo 3, you understand that at the end of the game, you have endgame content, and then they would do seasonal endgame content. But here's what you did. In a season, you would start a brand new character, almost like Path of Exile Diablo. So you would get done, and you would just brand new character, just like I had done recently with my guy, where I just started from scratch. They make the leveling faster, so it doesn't take as long. You're not going to go around and do like all the side quests and all that stuff. You're just going to do the main stuff, but you're going to basically unlock all of the zones, work your way up, and do all that kind of stuff. And that's how they're going to kind of do seasons. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to do it in the same regard as Diablo was with the tiers, where you just kind of kept going. They had like this Paragon system, and you would just keep leveling and leveling and leveling and getting more powerful. But I know that what they had at the end of the season was all of these wonderful prizes. And so I could definitely see us getting all these wonderful prizes as we do this. So they're going to kind of do it that way. All right. So all rewards earned with a seasonal character, including SHD levels, proficiency ranks, stash items, and collectibles, will be transformed to your main character. That is what happens after your character is done with the season. Okay. So you don't lose your character. You play your whole character, and for the season's over. And then you're going to basically, that's going to be, well, at least, I don't know, the way they're saying it might be transferred to your main character in your game, but they're going to let you keep some of the stuff, if that makes sense. Now, they mention in here master difficulty, and I'm not sure if that's going to be like master 1, master 2, master 3, master 4. I don't know how they're going to do that, but that's a thing. So we're going to see this anyway. The couple questions that they were answering here, and I'm just going to kind of go through these because I think they're important. The Warlords of New York expansion is not free. You still have to get it. So that's one of the questions everybody had. So the skills, the story missions, and the New York map will remain exclusive to the expansion. So somehow they've been able to figure this out without needing the expansion. I think there was maybe some people that thought the expansion would just sort of be part of the one game now with this kind of happening, but it's not. All right. You will get an additional character slot with Season 2.0, along with extra storage space. However, it is worth noting extra slots will be added for each individual, that no extra slots will be added for each individual season. So you're going to get an extra character slot in Season 2, an extra storage space, but extra slots are not going to be added for each individual season. I'm not even so sure what that's going to mean. So like the next season, usually I'm trying to think of how Diablo worked this. Usually when you're dealing with like Diablo, you had still a character limit that you could have in your account. And they must still be doing that because you would have to actually delete some of your old characters. So I don't know. That's kind of how that's going to work. But it's very, very similar, guys, to everything. Seasonal characters will have their own separate pool of shared resources and materials, which will not be shared with the seasonal characters pool. So this means if you have like legendary items and things like that that you put in the stash, you're not going to be able to take those out. That's basically what that means. So it's going to be kind of fun. I tell you, I've seen a lot of kind of dislike of this type of system, as I can imagine. This is only for hardcore Division 2 players, by the way. The people that are casual, this isn't really going to impact too much. You wouldn't even know how it used to be. But I'm seeing kind of mixed feelings about it. I, on the other hand, am pretty on board with this because I've loved this game and I've always wanted to play it. And if I was kind of forced into a reset to earn some new gear or new something, I would probably do that just because it sounds like fun. All right, so it looks like it's going to be 15 weeks of varied activity missions. Okay, so about 15 weeks. And then they're going to do a 2-week intermission afterwards where you can basically utilize your main character, non-seasonal character, and you can kind of basically access anything in that intermission. So that's going to be kind of fun. They expect that it's going to take 45 hours to complete. So basically every time they roll a season out, about 45 hours. All right. So I'm thinking maybe they're not really going with kind of a Paragon system. I can imagine that would be really, really hard to do. So that's the news that I have on just one of the top games I've ever played. Division. It's just so good. If you haven't played it, I really recommend you grab it. It's amazing. It is so much fun. It's the only MMO-ish like shooter. It's different than Destiny. It's a looter shooter like that, but it's got a lot of differences between a lot of the other games. And they make it a little slower pace so that there's some strategy. And I just love that strategy. It just makes it so much fun for me. All right, let's move on. We're talking about the Nintendo Direct now. So we had the little Nintendo Direct on 6/18/24, and I have not been playing a lot of Nintendo. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I kind of put it away. I'm an esports coach at a high school, and I spend a lot of time with Nintendos, and I usually am involved in that ecosystem pretty heavily because some of the games we play, Mario Kart, Splatoon, Super Smash Brothers, these games are all Nintendo-based games, and so I'm around it a lot. But I've just kind of been putting it away for a bit. I just haven't really been playing much. Over the weekend, I had some company over, and we started playing like crazy. We were playing Mario Kart, and we were just having just a blast on the couch, and it reminded me how much I miss playing my Nintendo. So that combined with the Nintendo Direct, and I said, we got to do a little spotlight on this. My goal, I think, is to actually play and maybe even stream some more Nintendo here coming up, because I really do have a lot of fun with it. And I mean, Mario Kart 8 may be the best that anything like that has ever been, and maybe ever will be. 96 tracks or something like that. It's crazy what they did with that game. And you can play that endlessly and never get tired of it. It's fabulous, right? So Nintendo, when they hit it out of the park, they just destroy it, and it's pretty good. So let's just talk. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there's a couple here. We got the Mario and Luigi Brothership game that came out, and I don't know how much you've seen of this, but I'm going to just go ahead in the background here. You can, if you're watching the video stream, you can kind of see this, but we've got the, it's more of a cel-shaded looking game. I don't know if you remember the way, say, Bugs Bunny used to be and all of that kind of stuff. It's got more of that kind of vibe. And then it's the Mario Brothers. So I have seen nothing but rave excitement over this game. So hopefully this will be something that everybody's super interested in. I probably won't play it. Not gonna lie. I've always appreciated Mario, and I think it's the best franchise at what it does that will ever exist. But with that said, I'm just not on board. So it doesn't fit my game style, it doesn't fit my gameplay, so I'm probably not going to play it. But I think this is an exciting content release that's coming out, and I think everybody's going to really have a lot of fun with it. Then we've got this other one, again, a totally different look. So we've got two different games. The Mario Brothers game that I told you had like a cel-shaded, almost like old school animated look instead of like a traditional 3D look. And now we've got the fate of Hyrule's in Zelda's hands in The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. So The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. So here we go. I'm just going to kind of show a little bit of this. You can see kind of the graphics are very much a hybrid of retro and modern. Now, this time, we're dealing with some kind of a new gameplay style in which Zelda's going to be more involved. So Link comes in, saves the day, but now Link's in trouble, and it's going to be up to Zelda. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think it's going to be fascinating. Now, again, just like the previous game I talked about, people are excited about this. So I think this is going to be another game that knocks it out of the park. It looks great, but it's very different. And I think that's maybe okay. I think one of the things I think that's so great about Nintendo is they don't just sort of churn out the same thing. Game after game, just giving you exactly what you always had. This looks different. And I think that's really cool. So you're going to get that one here pretty soon. Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. It's going to be back. All right. This next one I'm actually excited about. Metroid Prime Beyond. I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing. Now, here's why. The game itself, I love me some shooters, as you know. But I was like, how are they going to pull something off that's amazing on the additional, or the original, the current Switch hardware? The slow-paced Switch hardware that struggles. And then I see this game, and I don't know whether they had people. I don't know. Have you ever seen Doom on the Switch? Doom on the Switch is amazing. And I feel like they must have gotten some of those people that are super good at optimization involved. This game looks freaking amazing on a Switch. Absolutely great. The graphics are spot on. It looks totally like something I would play. And so I've got to say, I'm very, very excited about this game. And talk about just pulling every bit of power out of the existing hardware. This game just doesn't look like it's on old stuff. It looks like it's today's day and age, which I think is really something I admire, because a lot of times when we're dealing with games or hardware systems at the end of their life cycle, they sort of cash it in. Nobody really wants to make it for it. But Nintendo's got how many millions of consoles out there? Lots, right? So they know the game's going to sell when they make it. And it looks like Metroid Prime Beyond went ahead and said, you know what? We're going all in. We're going to make a great game towards the end of this console life. And it's going to be fantastic. And it really is. It really is. So right off the bat, there are 3 games that I think that I just pulled out that are just absolutely crazy good. You've got a couple other things coming out here. I'm just going to I'm not in any specific order. I'm just going to kind of talk about a couple. You got the kind of like the the King of Kong's Return. You got kind of like an older Donkey Kong kind of country vibe going on there, so that's kind of a cool game. You've got some Funko Pop game, which I'm definitely not going to play. I'm not a Funko Pop guy. But then you've got this that I think is pretty cool. It's Marvel Capcom, and it's like a collection. So it's crazy cool because this game has got... yeah, he's going to take me for a ride.
7 arcade games.
7.
Marvel and Capcom characters are fighting their way onto Nintendo Switch as one collection.
So you've got let's just go through these a couple real quick. You got like Street Fighter. You've got let's see if they're showing this. Where'd they go here? Of course, I can't find the exact spot where they show all the games. They got Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which I think is cool. Marvel vs. Capcom. They got the Punisher. Okay, they got X-Men, Marvel Heroes, Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, The Punisher, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and X-Men versus Street Fighter. Right? You got all these games. This is a killer collection, especially for fans of fighting games. This is amazing. And I'm going to the fighting game show in Vegas here in a few weeks. And this is the sort of thing I don't know if it's going to come out right now, but when it comes out, I wish I had it because I would just like play it when I go to that convention, and just be hanging out with it and having some good time. So very, very cool stuff. I'm super excited about that. You've got some Mario Party board games coming out. You've got another Just Dance. You've got kind of an interesting crossover with Sony and Nintendo. Well, Sony and Lego, I should say, with Horizons. They've got a Horizon game that's Lego bricks. So it's Lego Horizons. But it's it's just kind of an interesting thing. It's like Lego Horizons, and then it's on the Nintendo Switch. And it does look like a game that a lot of people would play. I've played the actual Horizon game. I love it. So, we'll see kind of what people are thinking about as far as they go there. Outside of that, there was just a lot of other games that do meet everybody's niches, just not mine. You guys can go take a look at them. The Nintendo Direct website has everything you could possibly want on that. But if I personally was going to say how I felt their show went, I would say it was probably better than the shows I saw from other companies. Even though everybody said the Xbox show was like the best show, I think there's more games in this Nintendo lineup that I want to play than there was on the Xbox lineup. So I'm going to go ahead and give Nintendo a win on this. Really, honestly, they couldn't have done better on hardware that's older than most of the kids that are playing on it these days, right? You go to the store and you buy your kid one of these things. It's been around since before they were born. It's amazing. It's amazing how well that hardware is held up, and you're still just playing amazing games on it. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about some games we got coming out. So it's June 20th. So tomorrow, June 21st, first game I'm going to talk about, you're going to get Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. Erd Tree? Am I saying that right? All you Elden Ring fans out there are going to be angry with me. Now, I'll just tell you this. I downloaded Elden Ring. I got to the first character. I died. Got up, died. Got up, died. Returned the game. I was like, this is just not for me. Now, that brings rage to most people. Most people are like, you're a quitter, you're that. No, it just means that's not the way I like to have fun, and I don't enjoy it. The game looked pretty. I mean, it was pretty cool. It's just not my thing. I don't like that punishing gameplay mechanic. Now, I know other people that have beat the game multiple times, the original, played through it multiple times. They're Dark Souls fans through and through. They play all of the Dark Souls games. But I did want to mention there's an interesting thing. There is a boss you have to beat in Elden Ring, the actual real game, who's a side boss. I was hearing from somebody, it's not like a really hard side boss, but it's one you have to beat. And then you have to do a couple other things in the original game in order to even be able to play the expansion. Now, there was a website, I can't remember who you were, I'm sorry, that said that 70% of the players have not yet done those things. So that means if you buy Elden Ring, the new content for it, if you're falling to one of those 70%, you will not be able to play the game because you have not beat the bosses you need in order to even play the expansion. They'll let you buy the expansion. You'll just have to go back through and actually play the stuff you need to play in order to get there. So I thought that was kind of an interesting kind of thing that was going on. You guys will have to take a look at that. But anyway, obviously that's going to be the biggest release going. That's going to be the thing everybody was going to want to be talking about. All right, so a little bit later we've got there's a bunch of like little games coming out. I'll list a couple of these off. You've got well, today you've got a game called Screwdrivers, and it looks like you build cars. I don't understand that one. I haven't gone into it too much. You got Tavern Talk. You got The End of You. You've got Windstorm, A Start of a Great Friendship. That looks like a girl and a horse game you got coming out. You got X4 Timelines, Nintendo Switch edition of Wylands. You've got, of course, the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree coming out on the 21st. Then you've got Hatch Tales, Love Elysium, Megacopter, Terrace Land, Times and Galaxy Ashes. You got Southfield, Smoking Gun, A Little to the Left, Seeing Stars, Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition. So fans of that, you guys might be hopping into there, the Beyond Good and Evil franchise. I'm not so sure if I'm on that. You got Froggen, which looks weird. Then you got Graven, which actually kind of has a cool little box art that made me kind of think about it. My Museum Treasure Hunter, Riven, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble. There's one that a lot of people are going to want to play, especially fans of the old Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumbles. That's going to be coming out on Nintendo. Then you've got Go-Go Jump, Battle Crush, X1, Gothic, and you've got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which is something I didn't mention in the Nintendo Direct. I kind of messed that up. I'm not exactly sure why, but you've got that coming out in June. So you Luigi's Mansions fans, you're going to be rolling in fun stuff to do. So there you go. And I'm going to stop on this last one, Neo Sprint. All right, I got to talk about this. So anyway, I have it up on the screen if you are watching it, but Neo Sprint is, I don't even know who it's made by, but it is, there's this game, my favorite one, top 5 games of all time for me. There's this game called Super Sprint. You played it in the arcade. It had 4 wheels usually, and it was just this top-down look at a racetrack, and you race cars on it. They have recreated it for this age, but kept it just the way it was. So if the gameplay is the same, this is going to be a real winner for me. And I'm going to play this a lot. So I'm very excited about it. It's called Neo Sprint. I definitely could see me streaming this quite a bit. So I'll probably be doing that over the next little bit. But they got a bunch of tracks. It looks like they got some characters. I'm not sure what's going on there. But it looks like they got some pretty cool track designs and some pretty good ideas of how to make this game fun. They've got some banked corners. They've got a lot of cool things. And it basically, if you've never ever played it, I've got it on the screen here for you. This is what the original game looked like. And the gameplay loop in this really was superior, especially for the arcade. Basically, you could keep playing. It was almost a roguelike racer before any of that stuff even was invented. Very, very, very fun. It just kept getting more difficult and more difficult and more difficult as you go. That music. I hear that music. I hear those sounds. And I hear all that. And I'm just hoping that Neo Sprint delivers on this. I really do. I'm going to take a look real quick at the... I want to take a look real quick at the... It looks pretty good, man. Build your own race and race your own tracks. Now that sounds fun. Oh, the track builder is pretty sweet. Oh, man. Yep. This looks just like the old game. Oh, yeah. We're going to see how this thing controls. But this is cool because this is actually from Atari. And Atari hasn't made much lately. So it's releasing... I'm not even sure. It says it's releasing October 10th, but it's listed on the June 27th, 2024. And it's coming to PlayStation, PC, Xbox, Switch, and then something with a 4 next to it, which I don't even know what that is. What is that thing? I don't even know what other. It's coming to some other things. I'm getting this game. So I'm definitely going to be a part of the Neo Sprint revolution. And it's going to be amazing. Well, everybody, I've been chatting at you for quite a while, and I'm going to let you go. But I just wanted to tell you, drop me some feedback any way you can. So send me some information. Tell me what you think. Always give me a good review if you can, or even just drop a chat into Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere that I'm at. X. Drop a message, drop something in there. Let me know you're listening, and it'll be great because then I can start giving the content that you want to hear and that you want to see. So be sure to do that, like, subscribe, all of those kinds of things. Really do appreciate it. But on that note, guys, it is time for me. It's time for me to start heading out, thinking about other things. And on that note, I'm out. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching in the stream. I appreciate you. Podcast is recorded. I'm going to go ahead and upload this bad boy, so I'm going to get that to you. I'm going to be back on here in a few minutes, and I'm going to be streaming something or other. I don't know what game I'm going to stream. I'm going to be streaming a game. So come back and watch that if you get a chance. And on that note, take it easy.